Welcome to an event that never fails to move, motivate or inspire. Once a year, the fittest, the most determined men and women from across the country are drawn to the north of England for the ultimate mental and physical test of stamina. This is Ironman UK Bolton. Every single competitor who makes it to the finish line here will have richly deserved the applause after swimming 2.4 miles, cycling 112 and running a marathon. We're following everyone, the elites, the club triathletes and a group called Team True Spirit, who are the very essence of what Ironman is all about. Come on. The long-established target time for an Ironman is 17 hours, and anyone who wants to have their moment of glory here at the finish must arrive before 11 p.m. And it's hard to believe that the elite men will arrive here in around half that time. And with such a well-respected national title up for grabs, there's a brilliant cast assembled, and this could be one of the most open races in the championship history.
26-year-old Frenchman Romain Guillaume has been a pro triathlete for 2 years, and podium finishes in Malaysia and Wisconsin Ironmans last year mark him out as a talent. With a passion for karate and surfing in his spare time, Bolton presents a chance to score pro-ranking points that will help him qualify for his ultimate goal, the Ironman World Championships in Hawaii.
My dreams, my first dreams is an Ironman victory. And my second dream, Hawaii top 5 or top 3. We need to dream to get the motivation to continue.
Nick Saunders, third at Ironman 70.3 UK, will be a threat, as will Italian Domenico Passuello. Australian Aaron Farlow has a big reputation, with his coach Brett Sutton having guided Bella Bayliss to a succession of women's titles in this event, a run that only ended in 2010.
One woman who epitomises the Ironman motto of anything is possible is 2010 champion Yvette Grice. Last year she had an absolutely brilliant run to turn around a seemingly unassailable lead by Bella Bayliss. But if she's going to make it 2 in a row, she'll have to beat an all-star international cast.
Grice's weakness is the bike, while Diana Riesler announced herself on the scene with the fastest bike split at Ironman Frankfurt in 2010. So not surprisingly, it'll be the middle discipline where the German will try and break away from Grice and secure her first Ironman title.
This year I already made 2 Ironmans, one in South Africa and the other in Austria, and both were 3rd places. And I hope that I can improve the 3rd place, maybe towards the 2nd or 1st. I have a big dream. I hope that it will be my first Ironman win, but you never know what happens in the race.
The USA's Desiree Ficker was second in the 2006 World Championship, but watch out too for young guns like 27-year-old former German national steeplechase champion Kristen Müller. Having abandoned her international track career due to a stress fracture, triathlon offers the variation in training and the challenge this talented athlete needs. Like the defending Ironman UK champion from Britain, she'll be planning a charge for glory on the run, although Grice herself is a frequent leader after the swim stage too.
I have felt a bit more nervous, only because people keep saying to me, oh, are you going to win this year, sort of thing, and I was just like, well, you know, you just don't know. yeah, I'll obviously try my best, that's all I can do.
Dawn breaks by a lake that's normally deserted at this time on a Sunday, but there's a mixed mood here this morning. Amid the quiet determination and the respect for the distance, there's excitement and anticipation in equal measure.
Okay guys, this is it. Welcome to Bolton. For those of you doing your first Ironman, good luck. Have a good race. We're going to walk slowly towards the swim start, okay?
I can't think of anything worse than dragging myself into a lake at 6 o'clock in the morning. It's the ultimate challenge. I think once you do it, you get bragging rights for life, and I think there is no more to say than that.
So how are the nerves?
Getting there. Yeah, quite butterflies. Yeah.
Are you a seasoned Ironman?
No, first time.
Why?
Why not?
So how are you feeling?
Wrecking it. Got scared. Feel like I'm going to cry already.
Have you done many Ironmen?
This is number 18.
What keeps you coming back for more?
I have no idea. No, it's the travel, meeting people, challenging myself, and having somebody call me that I'm an Ironman.
But he got me. He trained me from the start. Started swimming last year. First swim last year.
9 months ago.
9 months ago. And I'm going to do it today.
Victoria. Okay, that's fine.
What sort of time are we hoping for, guys?
16 hours, 59 minutes and 59 seconds.
Why did you decide that Bolton this year was going to be the time for your debut?
It's a great part of England, isn't it? Great part of England. I'm from Yorkshire and I thought, right, come across this side and do it over here. It's fantastic.
A late buzz is caused by the nick-of-time arrival of Aussie Aaron Farlow, a training partner of former Ironman UK champions Stephen and Bella Bayliss. Farlow has a bronze from the ITU Long Course World Championships, but is an unknown quantity in the competitive world of Ironman racing.
I only just made the rego yesterday, so everything's sort of fallen in place since then.
Why did you decide to come over here and make this part of your plans?
Everyone's just said how challenging the course is. I've been training with Stevie Bayliss and Bella, and they've both said how hard it is, how cold it is, and I wanted to have a crack at it. I thought it would be a race that would really suit me.
So this is it. After months and months of training, it's time for this epic race to begin. It is one of the most inspiring sights in British sport. So let's join your commentary team, Patrick Winterton and Richard Stannard.
Welcome to Bolton. It's almost unbelievable that over 1,200 athletes have signed up for today's Ironman. They start in Pennington Flash with a 2.4 mile swim, followed by 112 miles on the bike and then 26.2 miles to make up the marathon distance to wind it all up. It's very good to have one of Britain's top triathletes, Richard Stannard, alongside myself. Richard, obviously 2.4 miles is a long swim, but how important is the swim in terms of the Ironman race?
Well, 2.4 miles, as you say, is a long swim, but compared to the whole distance for the Ironman, it's not that far. And it really only sets you up for the bike ride. That you're not going to win it with the swim. You're just going to set yourself up for the rest of the race.
Well, in the early stages, the big names already coming to the front. Romain Guillaume of France in the green hat. The purple and leading the way at the moment. That's Oliver Simon of Great Britain, comes from Pembroke. And Aaron Farlow of Australia. My goodness, he's having a good start. And he's one to watch at the end of the day.
So as the swim stage settled down after the start, it was Oliver Simon, then Farlow, and then Guillaume on the feet of both.
Yeah, I take a good start. I swam as fast as possible, and when I saw we were just three, I stay in the third position and I await the transition.
Perhaps looking a bit young for such cunning, the Frenchman was more than happy to take the tow. It was just this trio at the front, while behind the masses were whipping up a storm in the Flash. Guillaume's game would change in transition one though, and that's where we pick up commentary with Richard and Patrick.
The leading three broke away early on and they've stuck together right throughout the 2.4 mile swim. Oliver Simon it is who's going to be first out of the water, recent winner of the Ripon Triathlon. A podium position very much possible, but he has to get the run right, which is his key leg today. Second out of the water, the red hat of Aaron Farlow from Australia and Guillaume of France right on their tail. Those two, Farlow and Guillaume, should have a very good battle.
Yeah, I think we're looking at the class acts in the field here. These two guys, second and third out the water, and I think they're conserving their energy and getting ready for this bike ride.
One of the age groupers has had a superb swim, right up with the elite athletes. He'll enjoy the company of some of the world's best. We've also got Miguel Platero coming out of the water. He's had an excellent swim, just over 47 minutes for the 2.4 miles. And Nick Saunders, the 37-year-old, born in South Africa, lives and trains in Jersey. Excellent start for him.
Oliver Simon there coming into transition, and Guillaume following him. The Frenchman's looking to have a fast transition and get out on the bike early. He knows he needs a lead, and this is where he's going to try and get that lead.
Race plan obviously worked out. There goes Guillaume of France, and he's a sub-3 marathon runner at the end of an Ironman. But as you say, it's the cycle that's his strong leg. But the course here, Richard, is brutally hard. 3 big climbs.
Yeah, it's going to sap the energy from the legs, certainly. Bolton's known for a hard bike ride. It is slightly changed this year, but it's still not going to be easy. You can see an urgency about his transition. He's getting his feet into his shoes quickly.
Farlow hot on the trail of the Frenchman, looking very calm. He's had a very heavy race programme. Now let's look at the course. 112 miles, 180 kilometres if you like working metric, and the total ascent 2,222 metres. This will sap the strength from the legs.
They're going to have to get their pacing and food just right, because of course there's a marathon still to come.
As expected, Yvette Grice was the first female out of the water in 50 minutes 32 seconds. It was a stunning swim from the defending champion, and she was almost 2.5 minutes clear of the next woman, Monica Stadelman. It was the kind of lead Yvette needed for her weakest discipline, and mistakes like this wouldn't help her cause with so many great cyclists about to start the ride. German bike specialist Riesler, another strong rider from Team TBB and hungry for her first Ironman title, would need no invitations to take the initiative. In the men's race, Romain Guillaume was demonstrating his appetite for his first Ironman title, tearing off like a teenager on a BMX, while the more measured Aaron Farlow settled into his own rhythm a few minutes behind. Welshman Oliver Simon was in the third slot and keeping Farlow in sight as they headed for the hills and the scenic but challenging ride over the moors.
So the elites are out of the water and onto the bike, but there are still more than 1,000 would-be Ironmen and women taking on the swim, including a remarkable group called Team True Spirit, made up of ex-servicemen who've more than earned the right to call themselves Ironmen simply by making it to the start line.
Team True Spirit are a group of servicemen injured in action and who have undergone rehabilitation at Headley Court in Surrey. They arrived at the 6 a.m. start ready to race alongside everyone else, either in relays or taking on the whole distance solo.
It's hard enough for able-bodied people to do it, but it won't stop them. We've got Kingsley, who's a triple amp, he's doing the swim, and one of the problems we've had is trying to get a member of staff who'll be able to keep up with him, to be fair. We've got Joel Townsend, who's doing the lot. He's a bilateral. He lost both legs in an incident, so he'll be doing the swim using his arms. He'll be doing the bike, and then he'll be doing the run in the wheelchair using his arms.
Serving with 40 Commando Royal Marines. We left for Afghanistan Op Herrick 7 in 2007, and February 2008 we've been out on a routine foot patrol clearing around the local area. On return to the forward operating base, I trod on an improvised explosive device buried in the ground. Lost one leg there on the ground, got amputated by the blast, and my other leg was amputated back in Selly Oak Hospital. 6 months ago we started training. I could barely swim a length of the pool, and now I swim 2.4 miles around the course, do 112 miles on the handbike. Before, I say a couple of miles on the handbike and was puffed out, so progress is amazing. I wouldn't have dreamt of doing an Ironman when I was able-bodied, let alone after disability, so yeah, it's amazing to be here, really.
I was injured back in 2008 on a roadside bomb. I was flipped, rolled and crushed a couple of times, and shattered everything sort of below my left knee, tibia, fibula, calcaneum, every bone in my foot. Subsequently, about 3 months ago, I had a below-knee transtibial amputation of my left leg, and I'm here to compete with Team True Spirit for the Ironman.
I've only been walking on crutches for 6 months after spending a year in the wheelchair. The consultants did a really good job in saving my legs, and this is me giving a little bit back to them to say thank you.
It's going to be tough for everybody, but I think for these guys it's going to be especially tough. But they're used to just burning down and just getting on with it and not giving in. Giving in is not an option. I think crossing the line with the guys, some of the plan is as the last one comes over, everybody will cross together, and I think it's going to be probably one of the proudest moments of my life, I would imagine, as it will for everybody.
It can get rough for any athlete back in the pack. Mike Goody solves that problem by getting clear of it.
I'm what was known as a left-sided breather. I only breathe to one side, and because it's on my left side, it's when I'm trying to go back into my stroke, I almost swim like a banana. It sort of pushes me out to the right, and it's like kicking, but there's no resistance there because there's no flipper basically with your foot. So it's a strange feeling, and it's still getting used to, sort of learning to swim and adapt my stroke and technique to maintain that.
He's into transition in 50 minutes with one of the fastest swims of the day.
It wasn't until I got out that I sort of realised that, oh, I'm actually quite far up here, and sort of, you know, people are clapping and applauding me, even the pro athletes as I'm getting out as well. It's sort of that sort of lump in your throat and you go, I did all right.
While the rest of the team try to complete their swims, the pro race is unfolding on the bike course. Time to rejoin commentary on that 112-mile middle discipline.
Out on the roads, and Guillaume of France is setting the pace. Good hard first loop he's going for.
Certainly looks pretty aero there, although shoulders quite close together. You can see his elbows quite close together. I'm not sure how comfortable a position that's going to be for the 112 miles, but it's certainly very aerodynamic.
Yeah, he likes the hills, and he's got a few of those here in Bolton. He lives in the Alps, so perfect training for this sort of course. There's his main opponent, Farlow of Australia, in the TBB team, and fresh off a race in Alpe d'Huez. It's a phenomenal programme. 4 days later, 4 days after Alpe d'Huez, here he is in Bolton.
Well, he's coached by Brett Sutton, and certainly we've seen Bella Bayliss back up Ironmans within a week, so it's nothing new for this team, and I think he'll have been prepared mentally and physically for that.
Well, we see how he gets on. Guillaume desperately trying to get away, and every opportunity he's upping the cadence. What a technical course here in Bolton. Oh, he's gone down. That's Guillaume, I think. I think he's gone on the white line. The back wheel seemed to slip away from him, and that is a disaster just as he comes in to finish the first of 3 laps, and his advantage over Farlow is going to be cut drastically.
Yeah, he had a couple of minutes lead at least. He's going to lose a minute or so here. He's going to feel absolutely shattered about this. Once you've got a large lead, it's devastating if you start to lose it with a technical issue. He's been pretty quick though. He's got that chain back on, and hopefully he's going to get underway without any problems with his bike.
You injured? 2 minutes now.
2 minutes, he says. He did have 3. It's down to 2, he thinks. Seems to be in a good frame of mind. Doesn't seem to be too negative about that. A lot of athletes get very angry when that sort of thing happens.
Yeah, you've got to stay as calm as possible, and you're going to get a big boost of adrenaline, and hopefully he'll use that to his advantage, but it won't tire him out. The worrying thing is when you get a big boost of adrenaline, you can push too hard and it'll cost you later on in the race.
Well, we'll see if that is the case. Let's have another look at this incident. It's a 90-degree turn. He will have known about this before the start of the race. There's been a little bit of rain, so the road is certainly a tad wet.
Yeah, I think we can see the white line there, and it just looks like the rear wheel slipping on the back of the white line, and the front wheel then causing him to go down. It's just really unlucky, that.
Now, I guess the big question is, has he damaged himself? And I think the immediate answer is no. But looking back at the mechanism, seems to be working okay.
Yeah, he's probably, it will feel different. The bike will feel different under him now. He'll have settled into a routine, and the bike, hopefully he's trying to get that feeling back, but anything could have gone wrong with that.
This is Monica Stadelmann lying second in the women's event, the Austrian, behind last year's champion Yvette Grice, who's had an excellent swim and got herself a little bit of a margin at the front of the field. Very competitive women's race this year. And here is one of the top contenders, Diane Riesler from Germany. Very good showing in the South African Ironman recently. Had to pull out of the Frankfurt Ironman, getting very, very cold, and that's part of the reason she's here.
Yep, Diane looks super smooth on the bike there. She has a really good position, and in fact here she comes now, moving into second place. You can see she's got a much slower cadence, she's pushing a much bigger gear, and this is going to allow her probably to close that gap. I think she's about 3 minutes down. I think she's going to make it up.
Ironman presents unique challenges to every athlete from pro to age grouper. For Team True Spirit's Joe Townsend, a double leg amputee, The adjustments and the challenges have been huge just to get to the point where he can take on the full distance on his own.
It's taken me a long time to get my balance in the water. Obviously, you haven't got the balance of having your legs there, and you don't have propulsion either. So you don't get a lot of gliding time as you go through the water. It's sort of constantly just dragging yourself with your arms through the water.
Living the dream.
I looked up towards the end and I could see the finish, and I thought we were going round on the second lap then. I didn't realise we'd already been round twice. I put quite a fast swim time and I set a personal best and was really happy with it.
There's still the bike and the run for Joe to complete though.
So a huge effort by Team True Spirit and two brilliant elite races unfolding. Join us after the break to find out what the next chapter of this drama has in store. Welcome back to Ironman UK here in Bolton. 1,300 triathletes currently pedalling their way across 112 miles on the bike, trying to get back here to T2 as quickly as possible. Among them, the inspirational Team True Spirit and those two elite fields searching for the crucial advantage before they head out on the roads for the marathon run. Let's rejoin your commentary team, Patrick Winterton and Richard Stannard.
They're on the second of 3 laps of this bike course. The 26-year-old Romain Guillaume of France still leading the way and looking strong. Very positive. Remember, he took a fall at the end of the first lap.
Okay after accident? Yeah.
4 minutes clear.
I need about 10 minutes for my run.
He thinks he needs 10 minutes advantage going into the final phase.
I will work to win 6 minutes more.
Here's his nearest rival, still Aaron Farlow. Quite a high cadence considering he's in the same TBV team as Riesler, who we picked up on earlier on.
Can you catch him on the run?
Hopefully if I can keep it under 10.
So they're both thinking pretty much the same way. Farlow wants to be within 10 and Guillaume wants to be 10 clear.
Yeah, it's interesting. They've obviously done their homework and worked out that there's magic 10 minutes somewhere. So it's all looking good at the moment for Aaron with only a 4-minute gap. But as we said earlier, it looks like Guillaume's gaining.
Well, he's still got 1 lap to go, and if he can keep pulling away, he might get closer to that 10-minute margin. We'll see if that's the way it turns out. At the moment, both riders looking full of energy.
No change in the men's race, with the lead pair seeming to wait for the run for now. It was a different story in the women though, with defending champion Grice losing the lead to cycle powerhouse Riesler. Like 2010, Yvette would have to bide her time and trust in her run.
I knew there was 3 hard laps. I know that you have to kind of, I mean, you obviously want to be working hard, but you know, the main climb does take it out of you, so you need to leave something for the 3rd time round.
Riesler, on the other hand, was out to squeeze every bit of advantage out of the bike stage on the 2nd and 3rd laps.
It's my favorite discipline. I know that I'm strong on the bike, and when I want to win the race, then I have to give everything on the bike.
And that seemed to be her strategy on her strongest phase of the race, leave nothing in reserve. And it's at the midpoint of the bike that we rejoin commentary.
They've been over the high point, heading down towards the little village of Belmont, and a chance for the women's race leader, Diane Riesler, just to settle and plan what she's going to do for the rest of the day.
Followed fairly closely there by Armin Atzlinger, number 69. He's a little bit closer than he should be, but it's very difficult. This is a downhill section and you're moving very quickly. And I guess Diana's probably just passed him, and he's going to try and hold back a little bit because he's got to leave about a 10-metre gap.
Down one of the steepest sections, a tight line taken by Riesler, and Atzlinger can't hold it. He's straight off the course, and he's very lucky that the reservoir water levels are down, otherwise that would have been his 2nd swim of the day. It looks as though he's got away with that, but it will make him think twice on the next little lap. And meanwhile, Riesler's got away.
Yeah, he probably shouldn't have been following that wheel, and both of them have gone into the corner with an incorrect line. They wanted to be on the outside of the bend, but I don't think the road was that smooth there, so it was a difficult choice whether to go inside or outside. And they went into the bend on the inside, and it certainly looks like they both got it wrong, and Atzlinger came off worse.
Well, he's one of the age groupers, Atzlinger, 18 through to 24, and that's certainly what he's going to be talking about tonight. Let's have another look at this. Talk us through it, Richard.
Yeah, they're on the inside of the bend now, and that's going to throw them to the outside. And you can see, in fact, Diane's wheel's just locked up there, but there's no chance for Armin. His wheel is skidding there as he goes in and crashes over the bars. He's going to flat-spotted that rear tub, and he might be dubious as to whether he's even going to finish the race now, because he'll have really taken some rubber off that tyre. He had no chance there. They really needed to be on the outside of the bend before coming to the inside round there.
The men's leader, Romain Guillaume of France, and he started very, very hard. We heard what he thought he had to do, which was to get 10 minutes clear of Farlow, and he's not looking quite as comfortable on the bike as he was early on.
No, he's all over the bike at the moment. He's not comfortable. It may be the effects of the crash earlier on. It could just be fatigue setting in. Has he taken on enough food? It's difficult to say.
And here comes Aaron Farlow of Australia, who is certainly looking very, very good. Look at that concentration. Bear in mind, he's just come off that Alpe d'Huez race, and he's made it look as though Guillaume is standing still. No response from the Frenchman, which must indicate that his energy levels are near zero. The crash, as Richard says, won't have helped, but the management of the race has not been good.
Yeah, he's certainly you've got to get it absolutely right with Ironman. You've got to get your nutrition absolutely perfect to allow yourself to get through the bike ride, through the 112 miles and prepare yourself for the marathon. And it looks at this stage as if he got things wrong today.
Well, these are going to be difficult times for Guillaume. The big smile we saw early on has gone, and he's still got a long way to go.
The last-minute decision to show up for this race was shaping up nicely for Farlow, who would lead into transition 2. He had lost a lot of ground to Guillaume in the early stages, but crucially hadn't panicked.
I knew he was a good biker, but I didn't expect 2 minutes over 20 Ks. I knew if he was going that hard, there was a good chance that he couldn't hold it or something would go wrong.
Farlow was right. In the end, he was 4 minutes faster than the Frenchman on the bike, completing the stage in 4 hours 53. In his bid to get that 10-minute lead off the bike, Guillaume had just gone too hard and ended up with no lead at all.
It was really, really difficult, and no energy, no sugar in my body. And I was thinking 100 times to stop my race because it was impossible to push on my bike.
Bruised from his fall and starting his marathon on an empty tank, this was a low moment for the brave Frenchman. But a proven performer, with podium finishes in Wisconsin and Malaysia, he couldn't be written off, and Farlow would need to stay focused on the 26.2-mile run. Oliver Simon was still in third place in transition 2, and while he was unlikely to make an impact on the race for the title, he would have to watch out for Nick Saunders, who was only 3 minutes behind and more than capable of running himself onto the podium.
In the elite men's race, Aaron Farlow has a 3.5-minute advantage. As far as the elite women are concerned, Diana Riesler has over 10 minutes on the defending champion Yvette Grice. All to play for with the elites, but now let's head back out onto the cycle course and pick up Team True Spirit.
The 2-mile climb from Rivington Reservoir, over Winter Hill and past Hordern Stoops and Wormsteads to the village of Belmont may take place amid spectacular scenery and be equally quaintly named, but the climb doesn't feel so cute in the legs on the second, never mind the third time through the section.
That's the first one, that's the easy one.
The descents are a chance for a rest for those on a racing bike as much as for those on a hand bike like Joe Townsend. After this, his arms still have to propel him around the marathon in a wheelchair.
It was a horrible course for me. I mean, I got a little bit of a break on the downhills, but on the 3-lap course, it was just downhill and back up and down. And it was a long stretch uphill. It was a real burnout. I mean, the The muscles in your arms are not as powerful as your legs, and you don't have any weight behind you. You can't use your body weight to your advantage up the hills. So it's literally hard graft, just push and pull.
The bravery shown by each and every member of Team True Spirit is an inspiration to other competitors and spectators alike. In turn, the appreciation of the crowd drives every athlete forward. The tougher the better on the bike for Riesler, and she's the first pro woman into Transition 2 after a 5-hour 25 bike. Can she get life in the jelly legs soon enough to defend the 11-minute lead over strong running Yvette Grice? Don't bet against the defending champion taking the title back to Brighton again, though with Kristen Muller only 4 further minutes behind, there would be 2 run specialists chasing the leader. Muller's steeplechase track speed was in evidence at the start of the run, but could she maintain it? Let's rejoin commentary at the 2-mile mark.
The third and arguably the hardest discipline of the triathlon. Let's have a look at the profile. 26.2 miles, you know about that, to make up the marathon distance. And then those 3 loops at the end of the run, each time coming back to the finish. Psychologically, that's going to be fairly tough to deal with. Yvette Grice in second in the women's at the moment. She led in the early stages of the bike. We saw the German go past her, Diane Riesler, without any problem at all. And now she's got company behind, because Kristin Muller of Germany is flying along the road, certainly producing the fastest run time. And here she is, Muller, with a tempo that you can hardly believe.
Yeah, the cadence is definitely there. Very smooth technique, very efficient technique. You can see she's covering the ground well, and she is certainly from a running background.
6th to 3rd on the bike, and now it looks as though she's going to move up into second ahead of Britain's Yvette Grice. It's a great run so far from Muller. Finished second in the European 70.3 last year to Britain's Jodie Swallow. And here she is, just seconds away from going ahead of Yvette Grice. It's a supreme run so far, but the question has to be whether she can keep this devastating pace going all the way to the end.
It certainly looks like she will be able to. She's a class runner. She's just pulling away there, and all she's got in her head now is, can she focus on getting into the lead? She's in second place. She's going to maintain this form, this excellent technique. She needs to take food on board, and hopefully she'll catch first.
Well, first place coming out of T2 was a full 13 minutes ahead, and here is the leader. Riesler still looking composed, but she's not travelling as quick as we saw from Muller.
No, you can see her running there with the little sticks in her hands. That's to try and keep herself as relaxed as possible. They've probably got some energy product in them, and she can squirt that into her mouth really easily to keep herself going on this marathon run. The sticks are there to help relax and keep the hands relaxed and give yourself something to focus on.
Erin Farlow has taken the lead in the men's race, and the stride a little shorter than we saw at the start of the run, but this is one of the subtle climbs in Bolton.
Yeah, he does look very efficient though, and as you say, climbing up the hill, the stride length will be slightly shorter, but judging by the time splits, it looks like he could be on for a sub 2:45 marathon.
And if he achieves that, he'll certainly be joining the list of Fraser Cartmel, Phil Graves, Stephen Bayliss, all previous winners of Ironman UK.
So in the elite men's race, the Australian Aaron Farlow is extending his advantage on the marathon run course, and as far as the elite women are concerned, it's still Diana Riesler from Germany in control. Join us after the break for the climax and the crowning of 2 more Ironman UK champions. Welcome back to Ironman UK here in Bolton. After a gruelling 114.4 miles of swimming and cycling, the 2 elite fields are nearing the end of their marathon and therefore their race. Let's get straight back out for the climax.
Muller, who overtook Grice at the start of the run, is now closing down on her compatriot Diane Riesler, and she's closing very fast indeed. It's been a brilliant performance by Muller. She started fast, she's just got better and better as the run has gone on, and I'm not sure that Riesler is even going to see her as she goes past.
Yeah, certainly very different speeds here, the two runners. Kristin Muller looks absolutely relaxed and comfortable, and Diane Riesler not so, really struggling at this stage. It looks like she's on her last legs, and Kristin Muller is just going to ease herself into the lead and take victory in this race.
And there's an instant deterioration in technique from Riesler. Psychologically, that's a very hard blow to take, but at least she knows there's no point trying to wind it up, because she is not going to stay with this young lady. Muller is getting faster and faster. It's a fabulous run, and I think she's got a great future if she can just pick up the swimming speed a little.
Definitely, she's raced some duathlons in the past, some long-distance duathlons, so we know she can bike and run. She gets that swim into shape, and the split she's running today, it looks like she could be inside 2 minutes 50. Certainly a threat in the future.
And here's someone else producing very good splits indeed. It's going to be the men's winner, Aaron Farlow of Australia. And on this time, he's going to be 15 minutes inside the previous course record set by Fraser Cartmel last year. What a brilliant performance from Farlow. A solid swim. He was devastating on the bike, and he's just run steady and sure. And he now has the biggest smile on his face, and he deserves it.
He says he lists on his website his aims are to win Hawaii and the 70.3 World Championships. Well, this is a big stepping stone on the way.
2 big races in 4 days. He's got to jump on a plane back to Australia in time for his son's christening as soon as this is over. But at the moment, he can milk the glory, because that was a sensational performance from Farlow. 8:24.34. He smashed the course record and gone a long way towards qualifying for the World Championships in Kona.
That was a really tough race. My main aim was just to finish, and to get the win was unbelievable.
Are you surprised at the time as well? Inside 8:25.
Yeah, that was for my second. That was only my second Ironman, so to go that fast over a pretty tough course, I was really wrapped with that.
Well, the harder it is, the better Farlow seems to perform. Here's a man who has suffered on his way round today, but he's looking very fresh now. It is, of course, Romain Guillaume of France, who led in the early stages of the bike. He took a fall, but perhaps the pacing was what undid him in the end.
Yeah, he looks a little bit fresher than he did coming off the bike. He's taken some food on board, and now he's lapping up the crowd as he takes second place.
Well, no one can take that away from him, but it's not quite the result that Guillaume came here for. He wanted the win. There's no doubt about it. Second place, though, very respectable.
Do you think you would come back here to Bolton and have another go and try to win next year?
Yeah, it's sure. I will win next year.
Well done today.
Thank you.
After a quick run, Nick Saunders picks up third to match his bronze at Ironman 70.3 UK in Wimbledon. For some who are just about to set out on the marathon, though, any kind of run at all will do just nicely. A 112-mile bike in itself is more than enough for most, let alone adding the challenge left ahead with legs reluctant to start turning over on the run.
Does it hurt? I can't feel anything anymore, so I couldn't tell you. It'll hurt tomorrow.
There's even less respite for Joe Townsend, who's through transition 2 and has switched from handbike to wheelchair. Even in the early stages of the marathon, the pain and the determination to overcome it are visible in every push.
It's a very uncomfortable position to be in, and after being on the bike, my body just started cramping up. And I pretty much cramped in a crunch position, bent over. That's what I was worried about on the day, about my arms just giving out. Because if I went, then, well, I haven't got a lot of choice. I'd have had to stop. I just knew the end was in sight and just had to keep pushing myself.
It's that kind of bloody-mindedness that's driving every potential Ironman forward to reach the relief and the glory of the finish line, where we rejoin race commentary with Patrick Winterton and Richard Stannard.
Perhaps the performance of the day is that of Kristin Müller from Germany, 27 years old. She finished second in Wisconsin last year in the Ironman. She's going to take top spot here in Bolton, and it's a sensational run. She's only a matter of seconds outside the time recorded by the men's winner on the marathon phase, and no wonder she's jubilant. Brilliant, absolutely brilliant. She certainly is the champion. Riesler says that winners don't doubt and doubters don't win. Well, when Müller went past Riesler, she had no doubt in her mind that the victory was hers.
When did you know for certain that you'd won?
Oh, it was 8K before the finish line. And then my father said to me, "Run, you're the first woman."
Is this the best performance of your career?
Yeah, it's my first place in the Ironman, and that's why it's the greatest.
A tough day for Diane Riesler. She led for so long on the bike after a very, very good swim, but just nothing she could do about Müller's speed on the run.
You had such a big lead going on to the run at the start of the marathon. Did you think you'd have enough to hang on for the win?
Not really. I had, I think, 10 minutes or so. I ran a 3-hour marathon. It's not that slow, but it wasn't enough.
The defending champion, Yvette Grice, has to settle for third this year. She outran Bella Bayliss last year. This year, she's got a little bit of her own medicine, with Müller just storming past her. But third and a podium finish, very commendable. And there have been many, many inspiring performances today. The ordinary people of yesterday can today regard themselves as extraordinary. Months, even years of training. They have all achieved their goal, their dream of becoming Ironmen. As they cross the finish line, they feel the ecstasy. Tomorrow, as the muscles tighten and the joints swell, the agony. Just don't tell them, any one of them, that something is impossible.
Get in there! Come on!
They've proved themselves to themselves. Some have suffered in more ways than others. A bad dose of cramp, but still not enough to stop them. As exhausted bodies cross the line, the tears just flowing all the way down the finishing straight. Final sprint. And they're still way under that 17-hour limit that makes them Ironmen of 2011. Some of them won't make it quite so comfortably. They started at 6 o'clock this morning. They have until 11 o'clock tonight to complete.
It's going to be a long day, yeah. Just got to make sure I get in before the cut-off. Yeah, how much further to go? I've got 2 more laps.
And here is a man who's going to be 4 hours inside that cut-off. It's Joe Townsend, the Royal Marine from 42 Commando, based at Bickley Barracks just outside Plymouth. He's a member of Team True Spirit, and he's completed all 3 disciplines today. He becomes the first ever double amputee to complete the Ironman here at Bolton. A sensational run, a totally inspirational run as well.
Joe, many, many congratulations. can you even begin to sum up the emotions of today, the heroes' reception?
Crowds here have just been amazing. It's just given us so much support, and to be welcomed like that is unbelievable. It's quite moving, to be honest. Yeah, I say 3.5 years ago in hospital and lost my legs, I'd never have dreamt of being able to get to this level of fitness and compete and do an Ironman. Working with True Spirit has just been awesome. It's been an amazing experience, and thank you very much to all the staff and the dedication and hard work they put in for us, because it's down to them that I'm now an Ironman. So thank you very much.
And presumably what you've done will go on to motivate other guys who are currently receiving treatment, that they too can, you know, put things back together and continue their sporting lives.
Hopefully. I mean, if I can do it, then why can't anyone else do it? Anything's possible, just set your mind to it, and it's worth the effort. It's worth it when you cross that line.
He's put in so much hard work, and he's just such an inspiration.
You know, the support that we got from everybody, absolutely amazing. Every time we're running past people, huge cheers, and you know, I could tell when Joe's coming because I could hear everyone shouting, like an unbelievable shout. Brilliant, amazing.
The quickest completing in 8.5 hours, the slowest are struggling to get in before that cut-off of 11 o'clock. They've taken twice as long. They've put in twice as much effort, you could argue.
But I am almost there. The guys have been brilliant. Everything's been spot on. And I'm finishing, which is just even better, you know.
Just all the support and everyone there cheering us on, fantastic. Well done, Bolton.
It's been a good day, a really good day. Great set of supporters. Obviously, bloody challenging course, but glad I've done it. Absolutely superb.
Tried this last year and I didn't make it, so I'm pleased to be here now.
Yeah,
although I'm a bit battered.
It's my first time.
Halton Bojak dances his way down the finishing straight. Great run from him, 7.76, that's Dera Seyoum. And 6.07, David Hughes, delighted to finish. Rich Brodie celebrating with just 50 metres to go. And behind him, Andrew Butler. And some fancy footwork as he comes across the line. And one of the great things about Ironman UK Bolton is that those at the back of the field get just as good a welcome as those who won earlier in the day.
Well, what a moment for Ken Hall. It looks as though he is about to become the last official finisher of this year's race.
16 hours 46 on the clock. Ken Hall is about to claim Ironman status.
Well, what an exciting day, what an enthralling day. It really is hard to convey the true extent of the emotions you see here at the finish line. That's it for Ironman UK in Bolton. Join us later in the year for Galway and Tenby. In the meantime, bye for now.